That's Mr. Mason. Welcome to the preview episode and first ever real recording of Millsy and Mason's Football Hootenanny. How are you doing?
I'm great, Millsy. I'm excited. I'm got this nervous energy. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to pod.
Little birdie told me that you are something of a wreck right now.
I'm a chattering. I'm a shivering, but I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Let's do this.
You sound it. All right. Well, I guess we should introduce to our audience who we are. Should we perhaps introduce each other? Would you like to tell them what you know about me so far?
That's a great idea, Millsy. Coming out of a blue podding corner, weighing in at an undefined weight and an undefined height, but at a mature age of 28 years, originally residing out of Lydney in the Forest of Dean, a true forester, a friend to me and you, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Nicholas Mills. The crowd go wild.
Well, what an introduction. I mean, I'm not sure I can follow that up. I mean, well, I guess I'll go right ahead.
Try.
Mr. Simon Mason, you are 34 years old, so we'll call it mid-20s. Originally hailing from one Bournemouth town. Most people probably haven't heard of it. It's somewhere down on the south coast. Many couldn't point to it on a map. You represent the true Bournemouth values, namely that of teaching your child, your only daughter, to eat only salmon fish fingers, which an old forest lad like myself has never once heard of, only knowing the more generic cod variety. But yeah, I know that brings
a little bit of vomit in my throat there.
You were shivering before, well, you'll be shivering now when I talk about codfish fingers. Yeah, I mean, you don't find the salmon ones down my way, but that's you. A fan of Bournemouth Football Club, one of 6 from what I know of.
Hey, that's increased significantly since the Premier League days.
Yeah, as in, do you mean you make 7 or what?
Well, I remember back in the terraces as a young lad, and if you wanted to chat to the person next to you, you just go, "Hi, are you enjoying the game?"
That was back in the old firm days when football violence was rife in Bournemouth.
The good old days.
People were throwing prawn sandwiches at each other left, right and centre.
Bournemouth Football Club riot it's never been the same since.
All right, well, I guess we should get on to talk about how we met. I've got a little story prepared for us. And when I say prepared, I mean prepared inside my head. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a rainy Thursday back in, I believe, 2018. Do you know that feeling, listeners, when you're in a new job, you meet a new colleague and you hit it off straight away? You go to work with a smile on your face, knowing that this other colleague is going to be there. You think, you know what? I'm going to go bother Simon for a cuppa. Maybe pull his ear about something that's bothering me. And I know that he's going to have a warm heart and listen to my fears, my joys, and anything that I want to tell him, really. And he'll have an open ear for that. And you feel yourself warming to him, and you feel like he's warming to you. You know that feeling you get with a colleague when you feel yourself stepping over the boundary of being a colleague and you get past the stage of colleagueship into friendship. Well, it was on that fateful night. I thought I crossed the line. I was invited to the Mason household, where I enjoyed a lovely bowl of football. What's the word? Football
crisps.
Football crisps. Let's call them football crisps, shall we? Crisps. Why not? We're on a pod.
We can't name a specific brand because, of course, there's other football crisps available.
Exactly. Not unless they sponsor us. So if you're out there, we're listening.
If you're listening.
Football crisps, we'll call them. Generic football crisps, prepared by his lovely wife. Esteemed wife, should we call her. And you think, this is it. I've made it. You're in this little area, this zone of happiness, and you think it can't get any better. And that's when you get taken to play football. You get invited to play with his football team, and that's when you think you've really made it. You're coming in through the gates. A friendly face approaches. It's only Sasha, good old Sasha, who Simon has obviously known for a while, but I have not met yet. But I know that I'm about to be introduced into this other circle of Mr. Mason's life. And that's when he hit me with it. He said, "This is Nick. My colleague. And I mean, I've known heartbreak in my life. I have. I truly, truly have. And I mean, that was it. That was it. And
and don't worry, listener, because I have not been allowed to forget this story. You've now heard it for the first time. I've heard it at least 6 times more
this week.
This week is quite a but I understand it was truly heartbreaking for Nick at the time, and it's something I have to say I regret. It's gone down in the Mason memoirs as one of the biggest mistake in the family history.
It's been 3 years, and that burns like yesterday's fire that you make in the forest, as I said. But I can still feel it as thick as it was. It's a roaring flame within my heart.
But here we are. We've made it all this way. We've got through that, and now we've made it to starting a pod.
And you mentioned a podcast level. And I dream that tomorrow will be the day where I can truly be considered your friend.
Well, let's see how the ratings go on the pod first, and then we can reevaluate.
Let's see how that progresses first. All right. Well, I think the next thing, that's how we met, and I guess we've just been being idiots ever since. So I guess we should explain to people what we're doing here. What is a hootenanny, Simon? Can you define a hootenanny? I can't, so I'm glad you're here.
It's actually very funny you asked that, because I did do a little Google search today, in fact, to try and figure out what a hootenanny was. And there's a variety of definitions. We're going to go for the one where it's basically similar to a hoedown. It's an informal gathering of people. I'm just going to check my notes, in fact, because I don't want to do a disservice to the hootenanny.
You wouldn't want to. It's our main thing.
Well, it's an informal gathering with folk music and sometimes dancing. Now, we probably won't have the folk music and we probably won't have the dancing. But the other definition is a Scottish word for a party or celebration. So
is it?
It is. And Americans use the word as a placeholder name, as in if you'd say, like, pass me the thingamajig, you can also say pass me the hootenanny. Variety of things, but essentially it's a football party. That's what we're having.
That's wonderful news. I genuinely didn't know that before this second. So I'm glad you looked that up.
We would have looked silly if we didn't know what hootenanny was.
We really would have. So you've saved the pod already.
I saved it.
5 minutes into the pilot. All right. Well, do you want to tell us anything else about what we're going to be doing here?
Yeah. Well, essentially a lot of the same. A lot of what we've just been doing, just talking rubbish. But we would like to cordially invite you, listener, to join the two of us on our Football Hootenanny. 2 Brits trying to make it in Germany, talking all things football. One's a salesman from the forest.
Boom.
The other is a salmon fish finger loving southerner, as you've heard. But we both have a shared passion for football. So we'll be talking all things football. We'll have some regular features. We'll have Millsy's Corner, where we tackle the see what I did there? We'll tackle the big burning questions in the football world. We'll have Mason's Moneymaker, where I will share some tips with you on how to make literally thousands of pounds using your football knowledge.
I would be careful about promising thousands of pounds. I would say at least thousands of quarter pennies or something.
Well, I'm giving people the opportunity to win thousands of pounds. I'm not guaranteeing thousands of pounds.
I would like to place a disclaimer at this point that we are in no way qualified to offer financial advice.
Correct.
And if you do follow our advice, then it is in no way official and we cannot be sued therefore.
Agreed.
I will also be sending this to my sister, who is a financial expert, because she is worried that we might be liable for something there. But dear listener, we are not. So don't even
we are not.
Don't even try it. I will call my dad on you.
We will also, let's not forget, we'll also have a Football Hootenanny's question of the day, which will get your brain sensors a tingling.
I do love a good brain tingling.
Yeah, so these are just some of the exciting features you can expect each week here on the Millsy and Mason's Football Hootenanny.
I'll tell you what, Si. I was thinking about this just before we came on, and we don't actually have a jingle. We just have that stupid lads thing we did at the start, which I'm pretty sure went perfectly when we hear this back. But I was thinking maybe we could do a or something.
That's true. That's a good point. I actually had a similar thought earlier today.
Oh.
Why I've raided my 4-year-old daughter's music cupboard.
Nice.
And I've turned up with a Tesco manufactured Rockstar electric keyboard here.
You can't see this, guys, but I can, and I'm expecting big things.
Do you want to describe it to the listener?
Well, it's a bright red, very plastic, supposed to be a keyboard, I guess, with about 10 keys on it. So, as I said, expect big things from this.
Expect high, and you will certainly be disappointed. Okay, are we ready?
Go ahead.
Millsy and Mason's Football Hootenanny.
Wow, that is second to none, and I can assure you, listeners, you will never have to listen to that again. I can assure you. But thank you very much for trying, Si. We'll go back to the drawing board, I think.
Okay, I'll come up with another idea for next time.
Please, I can't wait, and I'm sure none of our listeners can wait after being deafened by that either. So thank you very much. Again, real big thanks for putting so much effort into that.
So anything else, Millsy, that we want to mention there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I guess we could give a sneak peek into episode 1, I guess. Should we name the big hot topic that we're going to be tackling next week?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's give them a teaser.
All right, next week, I searched through my brain and I thought, what do football fans really want to know? What's the main thing right now in all of the football news that comes out every single day, every single hour? There's rumors, there's transfers, there's appointments, there's sackings. But what do people really want to know? What do people really want to discuss? And that's why in our first ever podcast, we're going to be tackling the question, which football manager would you like to tuck you into bed the most? That's right. We're going there.
I think it's something that every listener and probably most people in the footballing world, whether they be a fan, a player, an individual involved in a sporting director role or whatever they might be, they've always considered this question, and we're going to tackle this and get to the bottom of it. It's probably been
itching their brain for years, and they probably don't even know it. We could be scholars of the question here. This could be a primary source for historians of the future. So listen up.
There's only one way to find out.
That's tuning in. So
exactly.
Join us. All right. I think that probably does it for our preview episode. I hope you got a little taste of us. You couldn't see, but Simon's been picking his nose this entire time. Been very off-putting, but we'll try. I'm going to try and get through it. What I would say is that we are on certain socials. If you would like to join us on Twitter or Instagram, I believe our username is @Millsy and Mason on both. And our email address is millsyandmason@hotmail.com. That is Millsy, MILLSY, and Mason, MASON, @hotmail.com.
And is that the and sign in the middle of the names there?
That is indeed. Would you like me to spell that as well? That is AND, listeners. That is an AND in the middle. None of this ampersand business. We're not all from Bournemouth. I'm trying to reach the everyday layman here with ours. So that's Millsy and Mason with a spout out and @hotmail.com. Would you like me to spell out the end as well, or have you got it?
No, but the .com is probably fine. So Millsy and Mason @hotmails.com.
That's the one, right? Not Hotmails. Oh. It is a Hotmail.
Hotmail.
Just a singular.
One single.
And, just one single Hotmail. Just so you don't get that wrong, that is HOTMAIL.com. So Millsy and Mason @hotmail.com. Just so you have the whole thing at once. You're probably smart enough to spell that out, unlike some of our hosts, which will not be named right now.
Okay, excellent.
Tune in next week, and we look forward to it. We hope you do too. See you next time.